Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live. We have got an awesome live for you today. We are talking to the amazing Dancho Dimkov, all the way from Macedonia. Can you believe that? So he's come all the way from Macedonia today for this live, and he's talking to us specifically about B2B, so business to business. Dancho is just an absolute expert in this. I had the opportunity to speak to him for only half an hour. I think we had Dancho, and I was just blown away by the amount of information that you have around business to business and how to build that pipeline and how to build those relationships and convert into business to business clients as well. So we're going to dive right in. Please say hello on the chat. And any questions that you have, if you're in business to business and you want more leads and convert them more easily, this is your time. Ask the questions to Dancho. Dancho, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everybody.
Oh, we can't hear you for some reason. That's strange. We lost your sound.
That's weird, actually. Let me just have a quick check. Error. No, my microphone is right. Am I muted or something?
We've lost your sound completely, Dancho. I'm really sorry.
Can you hear me now? Hello. No, but my microphone.
No, sorry, it's my end.
Okay.
Sorry, such a dingbat. You can hear. Thank you, Steph. You can hear. I just couldn't hear. I'm really sorry. Dancho, sorry, please carry on.
You know, when these things go in live, you're trying triple to check everything before, and then when you said I cannot hear, I was like, man. But Ed, thank you very much for having me into the show. You presented me really well. Now I really have to figure out how to over-deliver, otherwise people will be disappointed. But in short, my name is Dancho Dimkov. I'm from Macedonia. We're just 1 hour ahead of you from the UK. And it's a really small country. We're 2 million people in total. So we always joke we're just a suburb from London when you see it. But we have our own language, our own currency. And yeah, we have our own experts. So when it comes to B2B lead generation in particular, I think that I could really add some value into this conversation.
Amazing. Well, look, we can't wait. So let's dive straight in. I want you to share with the audience, like, what got you involved in the subject of business to business in the first place?
Well, Ed, a funny thing is that my whole life I've been working into the B2B world. I have zero experience in the B2C. So when I was 21 years, I started my first company, and it was a marketing agency. And you know, as an agency, all fancy stuff, and it was the boom of Facebook and the other social media. But this was like 2008, I think, just when Facebook started. And it helped me learn a lot about B2B, how to grow an agency, how to market, how to sell. But also, when you work as an agency, you actually work with a lot of companies, with a lot of different companies in order to get different experience and different expertise. 3 years I was working in my company. Then I moved into a software development company where it was a UK software development company that opened office here in Macedonia. So I was actually a country representative. I was leading the R&D team. And there I actually learned, again, working in the B2B world, what kind of software I needed, how to do the MVP, feature development, the agile project management, I mean, the whole tech world. And after that, actually 6 years ago, I've decided to open BizzBee Solutions, which is actually on the wall now. Yep. And it started as a management consulting company. I mean, I did my CMC, Certified Management Consultant, MBA at Sheffield University, another Master on Entrepreneurship. So I was really into the B2B world. And my focus was actually working with entrepreneurs. I really loved helping young and inspiring people with some really fantastic ideas. And usually they were really technical, and they just didn't know how to move to the next stage, whether how to do a market research or even how to do a business plan. So this is where I found my calling. And the last 3 years ago, we specialized and we kind of rebranded, we changed our focus in BizzBee. So now we work into the B2B lead generation exclusively. So this is what we're good at. This is what we love doing. And we even focus on high ticket service providers. So when it comes to B2B lead generation, we even niche down in 3 verticals. And that is actually working with consultants, coaches, trainers as one vertical. The second one is agencies, marketing agencies, sales agencies, HR agencies. And the third one is the tech, whether it's a software development or software as a service. So as you can see, Now we actually work with the three type of clients that I've actually been working for several years in my history. So it really helps me to know how to better help them.
Amazing. That's really, really clear. So if you're in any of those three verticals, you definitely need to be listening. But I'd also say that probably some of the stuff, if you're not in one of those verticals, some of this that you're talking about, probably most of what you're talking about, Dancho, is completely relevant as well. So your background, as you've gone through, one of the things that I've noticed about you is that how much research you've done in the B2B world. And you're constantly reaching out to people who are already in B2B to find out their story, to find out the trends, the nuances, the differences, the bits that work for them. So what has really surprised you about those research results, Dancho?
Well, Ed, I told you I also tried to keep the academic background and also the business background. And in academy, without the hypothesis that is being proved or denied, you cannot really move forward. And this is how I actually looked at BizzBee. I mean, over these 6.5 years, we've served 450 clients so far from around the world. You name a country, we've done business there. And you start seeing patterns, but pattern on its own is not enough. So we've actually started an internal project called BizzBee Laboratory, where we do experimentations and real life, which really excites me because it's really more like as in a laboratory with a code and everything. But we try to A/B test some of our approaches. In terms of, we have multiple profiles from different countries where we try to test whether when we do outreach in B2B with a blank message or very highly pitchy message, we try to understand how people behave in different aspects. And what surprised me really is that we coined the term around it. It's a digital outreach fever, that people get this fever. You have a salesperson that is a really strong salesperson that goes to B2B events and know how to talk and know how to impress people and build the rapport and the relationship. Well, that same guy goes online, plugs in some automation tool and starts spamming people. And we coined that as a digital outreach fever. And I have the definition. It's the atypical spammy behavior of B2B salespeople, that they prospect leads online and they use the automations and start treating people like a number, which is really weird because that same person, it's not like he doesn't know any better. It's the same guy when they go to the real world, they know to shake hands, talk with several people, qualify if they're relevant, build the report. And if they are, and only if they are, then they can move to the sharing the business card and asking for the follow-up. The whole point behind the digital outreach fever is that we've started doing it too. Don't get me wrong. When we started with BizzBee, well, it's you do what you see. So typical with email campaigns were like, yeah, you grab a bunch of emails, you start spamming people, and with a success of 0.00 something, you're gonna get some meetings or results. But then we've realized that is not the right thing. At least if you want to be a sincere salesperson, that you really want to be influential, it's not the right way. And it really surprised me because even now I see a lot of emails and LinkedIn connection requests that I get them on a daily basis, and like, hi, my name is Dancho, I actually sell B2B lead generation. If you're interested, let's jump on a call. And in my head is like, wait, I mean, I don't even know you, and you're already jumping into the pitch part. And it's really interesting for me because it is kind of evolution. So when people they start spamming, and then they realize it doesn't work, and then say, you know what, quality over quantity will always triumph. And now we had the data to back it up, because we started with 7 different LinkedIn profiles, 4 females, 3 males in different continents, and we started different outreach tests in order to see what works, what doesn't. That insights we are now able to apply to our clients. I mean, I'm going to probably publish something around it, whether a PDF or something like, well, here is all the tests that we did and here is our findings. And I think that would be really exciting for everybody that are in the B2B lead generation.
No, I think it would. I think it does. I mean, those of you who are listening out here, put in the comments, hands up. Who hates it when someone literally does that? What you just said there. Hi, my name's Ed. Would you like to marry me? Straight away they want the relationship before having, building the rapport and doing what they would do face to face. And I think that I've seen the pivot of this over the years. So you get 1 and then 2 and then 10 and then 100, right? So all trying the same approach. And the weight of that from a end user perspective actually comes up and you think, oh, why did they do that? Like, we get frustrated. We didn't at the beginning. It was new,
Yeah.
but now we really get frustrated, yet people still do it. And it is really interesting. Here's a comment here from one of our listeners, Steph. Says, I remove them as a connection. There you go. Just cut them off straight away. Now, if that does not stop you and get you to think about how you approach B2B relationships because people are cutting you off, then I don't know what will.
And
And the
funny,
same here from Simon, saying it's a no from me. Yeah, if you get that, it's a no from me.
I see. Well, it's funny. Yesterday, I actually got an invitation, and it was immediately a pitch. And for me, it's much easier because I reply like, "Well, hello. Based on your outreach, you actually need to read my book because you need some help in the outreach." And it's funny. They responded like, "Yeah, but okay, but can I please ask you for a favor? Can you actually book a meeting with me?" And then I've realized that for them, quantity is everything that
It's
matters.
just a
Your
number.
boss
Yeah.
says how many meetings have you booked, and I told them that like you need to do the outreach better, and they're like, "Can you do me a favor?" I don't even know them. They just reach
Yeah.
out to me and they're asking for a favor immediately, and they're like, "Can you book a call for me with me?" And I was like, "What's the point? I mean, I'm not interested." And but from them, even if
Yeah.
I didn't show, they have metrics like this is how many people has responded, this is how many people have actually expressed interest, and this is how many people come book the call. Then the metrics comes how many actually came, and this is the digital fever I was talking about. That people are getting this madness that let's spam the crap out of everybody, send as many invitations, let as many emails, and then they wonder why it doesn't work.
Love that. Love that. So let's move on then. So now that you sort of got your research, you've looked at the data, what secrets have you learned that you can share with the listeners around how to build a better B2B pipeline? Let's just stick with a pipeline. Let's fill that up before we convert.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting, Ed, that I realized something that is very simple. I mean, we're not reinventing the wheel. It is something that works in real life, and we're just like, well, why nobody is actually using into the digital world? So after talking with a lot of clients, especially when it comes to the more expensive services or product, toward the high ticket service providers, I mean, ads should not be the right channel for filling your pipeline. You cannot expect as a consultant to have 5K mastermind or 10 or 20K program that you can really help other businesses, and then just put a Facebook ad and it's like 20K program with a flashy LED buy now, and expect that people will be like, huh, nice, click the button, swipe their credit card, and just pay for 20K. I wish if it was that easy, then we would all be rich. But when it comes to more expensive product or services, people don't rely just on ads. People usually start looking within their network. Who do I know that actually works? Either, for example, I need a website, and if I know that it's going to cost me more than 5 or 10K, I start to looking who do I know that could actually tell me, because it's not a small investment. It is something that I need to know the guy that's going to do the project for me. And that's why we realize that the only way how you can fill your pipeline is just by relationship building. People always say, is there a hack, something that I can just plug it in and get the magical miracle results? And unfortunately, you cannot. When it comes to more expensive services, the only way is to put the time and effort into building the pipeline. And that is actually getting to know with the people and actually start building the relationship. And in our case, in BizzBee, because clients still don't want to do it, they can actually delegate it to us. So we do that for our clients, where we start building that relationship with the ideal target audience. And it changes when your focus is not to sell, or where your focus is not to pitch. Everything changes. I mean, you change the style of the messages, you change the urgency. You're not like, but buy now, immediately. I don't know, urgency and scarcity, 30%, 90% discount, 3 spots left, hurry up. But you're like, hi Ed, how are things with you? I mean, COVID hit consultants pretty hard. On the one end, it's really up to us to help consultants as a consultants to actually help companies to survive this crisis. But on the other hand, now companies have tighter and tighter budget. So how are things with you? Nothing salesy, nothing pitchy. And then when you start responding, I am not going to start pitching you. I just really going to start talking one-on-one. Well, in Macedonia, it's interesting. Consultant got a really high hit. Some people will say, well, for us, Corona actually was a miracle because we were in the digital world. So it really helped us grow. And that's a conversation. On the back of end of the conversation, we are actually trying to understand if they have the problem that our client can solve. And then when you start looking at sales like that, everything becomes simple. I'm not trying to sell. I'm just trying to find companies that have exactly the problem that we know or our clients know how to solve.
Yeah.
And when it's like that, you're not like, hi, does any one of you have this kind of problem? No, it's just like, hi, how are you? Well, if I see that you don't have the problem, what's the point of pitching you toward come on a call? I mean, if I sell B2B lead generation and you're saying, well, thank you. Well, actually, what I do is I have team in-house of 4 people that do B2B lead generation. I said, okay, let's stay in connection. I'm not going to pitch you, come on a call, why you should fire them or stuff. Let's stay close. During the content, during the nurture, maybe you don't need it now, but things change. It after 3 months, after 6 months, things might change. You might people leave, and then you'll be like, okay, I need a solution fast. I don't have the time to hire 3 new people. What should I do? Wait, who do I know in my network? There was this guy Dancho on LinkedIn. Let me reach out to see whether we can reconnect. And this is actually what I'm trying to tell everybody, that when you do the email sequence or LinkedIn sequence, people are like, hi, you don't know me, but I sell this. Hi, you don't know me, I can give you a 30% discount. Would you like to come on a call? And without that relationship building, nobody is going to be that focused toward the I don't know you, I'm just going to see a Facebook ad and I'm just going to click it and I'm going to swipe my credit card. So we do message sequencing, but we try to make them only as a conversation starters. The whole goal from those messages is nothing salesy, nothing pitchy, actually just to get a response from the prospect, and we can continue on the one-on-one conversation.
Love that. Like, I really like, and it sounds, this isn't earth-shattering stuff. This is basics. This is stuff that we know already, but we're looking for that, like you said, the golden goose or the miracle work, right? And actually, what we need to do is get back to relationships, use our network, leverage the social proof of how great you are already, so that people can be connected, help and advice, support, add value to people to build that relationship and find out what their pain point is. I'm sort of with you with sometimes people will come to me and my job is to be connector. Like they might not work with me, but if I can connect to something that helps solve their problem that I can't deal with, then that's great. They might speak positively about me in the future, so that's okay. I really like that. Now, one thing that's really popped up for me out of this, Dancho, that I want to challenge, I guess, with people who are listening is, do you have time in your diary to nurture relationships through social media? Because if you don't, then you're not going to do it. And if you don't have time to do it, then when's the time in your diary to talk to an agent to do that? If you're serious about building B2B relationships through social media, then you've got to put the effort in. It's clear. You've said it here today.
Yeah.
Love that.
When 2 things I just wanted to add, that the one is that when it comes to sales, we always joke that there are 2 ways of selling. One is the more pushy, lucrative way, where there is a red Ferrari behind me and I'm like, well, if you want my lifestyle, if you want the same red Ferrari, you should buy my services here up. And the other way is really the consultative approach. Like, let's jump on a call, let me doctor approach, diagnose you if you have the problem that I can solve, and then I can give you the pill. It's not like you go to a doctor and they're like, just from the door, I don't know you, but take 3 from the red pills and just go. And they're like, but wait, I didn't tell you what problems I have. And when it comes to the sales, I've seen the 2 ways of approach. One was usually the manipulative way of sales, and the other one is really the influential. The influential is, I need to make influence on you so you can, considering that you have a problem, that I can help you. But that's a win-win. I'm not cheating you or tricking you into something. I'm just pointing out things that you are not aware. While the manipulative is more based on deceit. I'm trying to deceive you, so I'm going to trick you into buying our services, although I know that I cannot help you. And it's a fine line, but it's a really clear line. That's why when I said, when you go with a mindset, I need to get my KPI and I need to sell, you're rushing it, you're pushing people. But when your mindset is, I'm into a relationship building, it's a bit harder, don't get me wrong, but it is the right way. Because at the end of the day, what we found when I actually talk with prospects, I say, well, we're in the cloning business. And they're like, well, how? We're like, as an agency, you can just sit back and relax. We do everything. And they're like, well, what do you mean by cloning? We're like, well, while you do the fulfillment, we have one person that's going to do the outreach on your behalf. There is another guy that's going to do the nurturing on your behalf. And there is a third person that's actually going to create the social media content, the blogs, the newsletter, and everything. So it is a lot to be done by a single consultant. And usually in the consulting world, it's not like they have 50 employees. I mean, they are big consultancy companies, but usually marketing agency, they are small teams, 5 to 10 people. Consultancy is either one-man show, 2-3-man shows. And in that case, it does require a big capacity of different expertise for start in order to be able to take care of that. And maybe that's why actually you should consider an agency to do it for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy, a lot of work going into it. I get that. Yeah. So this is really super stuff, and you've actually crept into the question that I was talking to you about as well before, which is around the advice to convert people from leads into clients. And could you just give me your top 3 things that people listening have to make sure that they do to best convert those leads into clients?
Yeah, well, top 3. Well, once you have the relationship established, now you need to figure out how to maintain it and how to nurture it, because it's not a relationship when you invite someone, they accept your pitch and they give up. That's not a relationship. Just as from the comments, I will block you, I will unfriend you, and the rest.
Yeah.
So when it comes to advice on now you have the leads and how to convert them to clients, content. And by content, we usually have actually three distinguished type of content that we argue about in the tailored to B2B outreach. The first one is actually social media posts. If you want to have better visibility and position yourself as a thought leadership on the market, you should start posting frequently. Don't get me wrong, you don't need to post every day, because then you're going to be perceived as a desperate. It's like, okay, does this consultant actually have work, or he's just on Facebook or on LinkedIn every day just posting stuff? But thought leadership is actually, one thing is you're trying to position yourself as a thought leader, but also visibility. You start popping up on their news feeds. Is this ad guy again? Is this ad guy again? So that's really one good thing on how you can actually move them toward client. The second one of type of content is experts. You need to start creating blog posts. And by blog posts, I don't think like, well, you just reach to 3 different articles and combine them into a single document, but actually based on your 10, 20, 50 years of experience, what are the 3 insights? What are the 5 things that you've learned? Because that's the type of blogs that adds value. It's not like I've read 1 or 2 places, I just merge them, but it's based on my own experience. This is how it should be, because that's how you're positioning yourself as an expert. So if I read your blog, I'm gonna be like, ooh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe I should actually use their services. And the third part that in the content is actually how to nurture them. And it's usually the newsletter, which could be once a month, it could be once every 2 weeks, but the main goal there is to not let people forget about you. In the newsletter, you're trying to give them some free value, and we all know there are newsletters that you just unsubscribe because they are, again, pitchy, salesy, 80%, 30% discount, buy our services and stuff. And there are newsletters that you can't wait to come up. It's like, I'm waiting for that newsletter because it has some value for me. And when you start doing that, then you're really nurturing your clients, and it's maybe sometimes it will take 6 months, sometimes it will take even more, but you know that if they ever need the type of your service, you're going to be the first on the top of their mind.
Love that. Really cool. Thank you so much for sharing those tips as well. So in the comments box, anything that you've taken away, anything that's kind of like we call them BFOs here, Dancho, blinding flashes of the obvious. Like, why am I not doing that thing that I should be doing? So anything like that, please do drop them in the comments box. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put into the chat a couple of links. They're links to Dancho's website, and also a link to his academy where you can go and download a load of ebooks and PDFs, all free for you to just keep building your knowledge on how to get great B2B leads and convert them into clients. And whilst I do that, Dancho, do you want to just quickly talk about your book that you've just launched?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible, but based on all these findings and all these frameworks that we built, let me find it on the camera. I've released Sweet Leads. And Sweet Leads is actually harnessing the prospecting power of LinkedIn and email to fill your calendar with qualified, high value B2B meetings. The whole reasoning behind the book was that at all these findings, all these frameworks that we've built during the last 6 years, I really thought that everybody should have access to it. And don't get me wrong, it's on Amazon. It's actually available on any larger retailer or bookstore. I mean, Barnes and Noble and all the others. And I really put additional effort to publish it through a publishing house. So it's actually published in the UK officially. And it is available on Amazon, on amazon.co.uk, on amazon.com. There is a print version of the book. There is Kindle version of the book. So for everybody that are actually interested in digging much deeper into the B2B lead generation, where we even have two stages. We have in the book stages for planning a B2B outreach campaign, where we are saying, well, you need to understand who is your ideal target profile, as obviously in any business. Then you need to know how to build a database, and then you need how to create the conversation starter that I was talking about, and how to optimize your profile. So then when it comes to the other three chapters on the execution, is how to do a LinkedIn and email campaign, how to handle all the responses, because once people start responding, you should be able how to politely, non-pushy, move them through the funnel. And finally, how to optimize the funnel. There are A/B tests, what kind of invitation works, what kind of doesn't. So you should start your own mini lab in order to see what works better for you and what doesn't. So 6 good chapters, 3 in the planning, 3 in the execution, and we cover everything that we really know about the B2B lead generation.
Amazing. Sounds like we need to dive into that. This is just scratching the surface compared to Sweet Leads. So the links are in the chat. Go on to bizbeesolutions.com, go to the academy, sign up for the bees letter. I love all the bees. I love the it's brilliant. And just keep learning, keep developing. And look, if you're talking to business who need help, then you've got a new connection here with Dancho. Point them in his direction. Dancho, thank you so much for today, for sharing some of your insights, your research, your expertise over the years with my audience. It's been absolutely brilliant. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, Ed, thank you very much for inviting me. I truly hope that I've tried to add some value in this conversation so people could get, like, as you said, wait a minute, actually, I can try this or that. And I really enjoy talking about B2B lead generation. It's not like, we're a company, we have to do it because of the money. This is what really inspires us. And you can notice that because we do the extra mile and the laboratory and the academy and everything that we do, because we find this B2B lead generation as a science fiction. There are so many variables, so many things that you need to do it properly. So if you're excited as us, as Ed said, we have the newsletter. We do it every 2 weeks, and we try to give as much free value as possible. We have the free blogs, the free books. Everything is free, because when it comes to content and knowledge, people should have access to this kind of knowledge.
Love it. Thank you, Dancho. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the day. Everybody, remember to look back through your notes, pick those 1 or 2 things that are going to make just that little bit of difference to your lead generation and your conversion that you're already having on social media. Take care. I will see you back here next Wednesday at 9:30. Bye-bye.